In legal and regulated environments, AI is not just another productivity tool. The moment AI touches client data, internal workflows, legal analysis, compliance obligations, or regulated records, it becomes infrastructure. And infrastructure cannot be improvised. It cannot be governed by a policy document alone. It cannot rely on trust, good intentions, or a post-deployment checklist. It must be architected correctly from the start. That is where SavvyLex consulting stands apart. We do not treat governance as something to add later. We build it directly into the architecture itself. Controls, permissions, audit trails, approval flows, and access boundaries are encoded into the live system at deployment. Not as a PDF, not as a slide deck, not as a promise, as operational reality. Because in legal AI, structure matters more than slogans. Every workflow SavvyLex designs is built so that outputs are not just fast, but defensible. Every action can be traced. Every interaction can be logged. Every output can be reviewed with confidence. Provenance is captured at every critical step so that legal professionals, compliance teams, and enterprise leaders can see what happened, when it happened, why it happened, and what source material supports it. That means AI work product is not a black box. It is auditable, reviewable, and accountable. And in law, that distinction changes everything. SavvyLex is built around a simple principle. No legal output should leave an AI workflow without independent citation verification. Citation failure is one of the highest risk breakdowns in legal AI. It creates professional exposure, credibility damage, ethical concerns, and unnecessary risk for clients and firms alike. That is why we do not treat citation checking as optional. We engineer it into the process by default. Verification is mandatory, traceability is mandatory, defensibility is mandatory. Because responsible legal AI is not about generating more words. It is about generating work that can stand up to scrutiny. Security is equally foundational. SavvyLex configures and governs enterprise-grade identity, access, and environment controls aligned to each client's actual risk posture. That includes SSO, RBAC, MFA, privileged access controls, encryption strategies such as BYOK, and zero data retention aligned implementations where required. We do not force clients into a generic model. We design secure environments around the sensitivity of their work, their obligations, and their operational reality. This is not one-size-fits-all AI deployment. This is controlled implementation for serious environments. And when legal work becomes more complex, our architecture scales with it. Through Lex agents, SavvyLex enables multi-agent legal workflows that break down sophisticated tasks into discrete, auditable, human-supervisable steps. Due diligence, contract review, regulatory gap analysis, structured document workflows. Each stage can be observed, governed, validated, and escalated when human review is required. That is how automation should work in legal settings. Not by removing oversight, but by making oversight stronger, clearer, and more efficient. SavvyLex also bridges the gap between compliance on paper and compliance in practice. Many organizations talk about frameworks. Few operationalize them. We translate standards and obligations such as SOC 2, ISO 27001, HIPAA, bar ethics requirements, court AI disclosure expectations, and evolving frameworks like the EU AI Act into live controls inside real systems. We take certification language, policy expectations, and governance requirements and turn them into how the technology actually behaves in production. That is the difference between having a compliance document and having a compliant environment. And deployment is never the end of the story. SavvyLex provides full observability across the live environment so that governance continues after go-live. Latency monitoring, error tracking, alert routing, SIEM integration, safety oversight, shadow AI governance. Production systems should not simply exist. They should be visible, measurable, and governable throughout their lifecycle. Because in high-trust environments, you do not just deploy systems, you operate them responsibly. But even the best architecture fails if people are left behind. That is why SavvyLex goes beyond implementation with Skill Builder, our training and adoption framework designed to help legal professionals use AI responsibly within their actual practice context. We prepare teams to work with these systems in ways that are safe, effective, and aligned with their obligations. Because deployment without adoption is not transformation, it is unmanaged risk. At SavvyLex, we understand that choosing an AI implementation partner is not simply a purchasing decision. It is not just vendor selection. It is not just software procurement. It is a governance decision. It is a professional liability decision. And for regulated organizations, it is often a board-level decision. That is why our work is designed for leaders who understand the stakes. Law firms, legal departments, compliance-driven organizations, institutions that cannot afford to guess their way into AI adoption. SavvyLex Consulting helps organizations implement AI the right way, with structure, with accountability, with security, and with professional-grade governance built into the foundation. Because when AI becomes part of legal work, the question is no longer whether it is powerful. The question is whether it is governable. SavvyLex Consulting, architecting legal AI that is secure, auditable, defensible, and built for the real world.